Hey guys, Drew at Because Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to go over a really interesting guard that you may not have seen before, but it's a very, very simple application that can be done from closed guard that if you start using this one, might become your favorite because it's very simple to get to, but the power that you get from it and the options that become available are just so stupid easy that it really should be in everybody's playbook. So we're going to go over it. I call it the 2-on-1 guard. So starting from a closed guard, we're going to go over how to interrupt their base to begin with. So their structure that keeps them postured here, if they're doing the correct thing, is going to be usually structured off of the hips right here. It's limiting my hip movement, which is good for him, but it's also keeping him upright. Because if you know anything about closed guard, you don't want to have your posture broken. He's keeping his posture up. If I try pulling him in, it pulls against those frames. It doesn't knock him over very easily. You'll find somebody defending here very often. So how I'm going to interrupt this is by grabbing on the inside, from the outside of his elbow. There's a little bone, a little notch that you'll feel that you can grab onto, like a handle right here, and then pull out like this. So if you think of the arm as three major joints, you have the shoulder, elbow, wrist. These two are on the end of that structure, which means that the weakest one is going to be in the middle because it basically actuates in between these two static points. Okay? His shoulder isn't moving because it's attached to his body. His wrist isn't moving because he attached it to mine, which makes this very easy to move. So when he's structured right here, I'm going to reach around, pivot this one out. Doesn't matter if he's strong or not, that thing's going to chicken wing out, and that's great. Now I'm going to come down with a cross grip, C-cup grip, thumb on the outside of his wrist right here, bam, like that. Once I've got these two, I'm going to bring him across like this, and then slide this one to get a figure 4 grip behind. Now this is not a Kimura grip, okay? It's similar, it's a wrist-on-wrist grip, but you'll notice I've come from behind his arm, whereas a Kimura would come from over top of his arm. So it's going to feel very similar to a Kimura-style control, but you'll realize when you get there, you don't have those arm attacks available to you. The armbar, the Kimura, the Americana are not going to be immediately available without switching your grip. But we'll go into why we use this grip in a moment after we go through again how we set this up. So we flare the elbow by grabbing that notch, C grip, we're going to bring him across and go right here. Now, once I've got my 2-on-1 grip on here, you'll notice that the power of this one is it forces his arm onto the far side of my body. If Alvin tries to get his arm back, it's very easy to hold this position while I've got my body against his elbow right here. It adds a bit of a backstop, but I want to amplify that by going into what I call a side guard, where instead of full guard here, I'm going to unlock and hip up and then relock. So now I'm kind of at a full guard, but on his side. And when I have this figure 4 grip, this 2-on-1 from side guard, now I've got a full backstop in my body that his arm can't go back through. It's going to be very easy to hold in this position. So we're going to go over the first technique in this one, which is going to be the most obvious one, being a back take. Because just the way that this application of grip works, especially with that side guard, is it causes back exposure. So we're grabbing that elbow, flaring it out, getting the wrist coming over, and immediately going to our side guard so we can't get that back. Now, instead of just reaching around and trying to grab his back from here, I'm going to use this one that's grabbing my own wrist, and I'm going to grab a pistol grip right here on the gi. Okay, so I was here, I'm going to grab a pistol grip, and now I can come back for base. Okay, I still got this, he can't get this arm back, and even if he does start pulling it back, it hits my body, right? I'm going to open my side guard and start using my base to slide around, release that, and come to the back. So one more time, that looks like this. We're going to peel that arm over, get our side guard right away, find a pistol grip, come up, unravel the guard, come over. Now you'll realize when you get this far into the back take that your own arm is blocking you, so you're going to have to let that go, swing it around, and then start getting typical back control attacks from there. Okay, so the next option we're going to go over happens typically when somebody starts trying to fight you going to that side guard, when they feel like their arm's being dragged over and they're going to try to square their body back up. So we chicken wing them here, got our C grip, pop it over, and start turning like this. And once we start turning, they start trying to come back to square up, which makes it very easy for me to take this leg and kick it straight up, similar to a flower roll, which will knock him over and take you to full mount. Again, we get our grip set up, come here, he starts squaring up on us, and as he squares up, this control completely isolates what would be able to block him on this side for the sweep. So he's not going to be able to post with his arm at all. And really this whole sweep is an upper body sweep. I'm not really trapping, tripping or otherwise controlling his legs. I'm just going to twist his upper body with the force he's providing me in this direction, which will flip his whole body as one. So he's starting to square up, kick, over he comes. It's a very, very simple, easy sweep that they're going to give you when they start trying to square up. All right, so like I was saying, when you get to this grip, you're going to realize that you can't just straight up armbar, and you can't just straight up Kimura somebody. So what are our options? We have his arm extremely isolated. It's under an extreme amount of control. What are our options from there? I'll show you two that are immediately available, very easy to find, but aren't typical arm controls or arm locks that people might think of as your A game. But from this particular guard, they are kind of the A game from there. So first one, we'll flare, come to that side guard, and now I'm, instead of trying to come up on my elbow to come towards the back, let's turn a little bit here. Pay attention to this arm that I'm isolated here with the figure 4. I'm going to take this hand that is on his wrist and slide it down so that I get my fingers over top of his knuckle line, but most importantly, I get my thumb underneath, basically right here where his wrist actuates like this. It's going to cause a breaking fulcrum right at his wrist. So I'm here, I slide down, get my thumb where I need it to be, and then reinforce my own hand here. And I'm going to break that wrist, bending it here, coming over top of the knuckles. And the best thing about this is there's already a backstop on his elbow against my body, so I can pull directly against that to fold in for my box lock or gooseneck lock. So again, for that wrist lock, we're flaring, coming over, sliding down to the knuckles, reinforcing our own hand, and then folding down into the body. Very fast, easy lock. A lot of people don't see it coming, and really by the time you're in it, it's kind of over. Now the final lock that we're going to go over, final attack from here, think of it like an omoplata entry. It will really help you get to the final position, where we're coming here, and as we get to our side guard here, I'm going to keep bringing my guard up over his body like I'm going for an omoplata, but at this point, I'm going to jam his hand in between my legs, and then triangle my own foot that brought over. So you'll realize that he's now in a bicep slicer. Okay, it's going to have this blade of my arm being pulled through this direction. You could finish just by going hand on hand and pulling, but the strongest finish here is when you slide up to your own bicep, and then grab his tricep here and just crush him with a rear naked choke grip. So what that looks like all together, so we break the position, turn to side. I'm going to come over top, pushing his hand between my legs, getting that figure 4, slide to the bicep, to his tricep, and just crush him. It's all about the arms at this point. You're not really squeezing with the triangle, that's just keeping the position in place. I'm just going to squeeze like this, and it really bites into the muscles and nerves in that bicep area. So there you go, that's a good overview of the 2-on-1 guard. This is going to be a very simple way to play from close guard that a lot of people don't really realize is there, and I think for no good reason. This is a very simple one to set up and extremely powerful when you get used to playing it. So I hope you have some good luck with this one. Let me know if you end up hitting it and rolling. Drop some comments in the comment section. If you want to see some future videos, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you then.